This is the 2024 Honda Accord Hybrid Sport. Is it better than ever? Hi everybody, it's Tom from Vehicle Visionary. I hope you're having a great day. Today we're at Holmes Honda to take a look at this Accord Hybrid Sport for the 2024 model year and give you the information to answer that question. If you want to know more about this particular model, check out the link down in the description of the video, and that will give you all that you need to know to at least get the process started to potentially coming in here to Holmes Honda and buying this model. So we're going to focus on the sport trim level, the hybrid sport trim level, and the features that it has. So we'll start here on the front end. You're going to have your LED daytime running lights. Kind of hard to see from this particular angle, so we'll move back here, but you have the active air curtains. Still don't know if you can see it as well because I can't get the camera in there. But this is where the air comes out. So that's going to be one thing that's going to be used to help improve aerodynamics, reduce drag. The air goes in through this area right here. I don't even know if you can see the daylight through there, just the angle as far as that goes. And the Accord for 2023 obviously was fully redesigned. It's supposed to have a sportier look to it. It's definitely going to have a little bit more of a sporty feel as far as driving goes, at least on the hybrid trim levels, because of the new dual electric motors. And what about safety as far as this model goes? Well, you're going to have your Honda sensing here, which will include adaptive cruise control, collision mitigation braking, lane keeping assist, road departure mitigation, and traffic jam assist. Additionally, even though it's not part of Honda sensing, you do have blind spot monitoring, or the blind spot information system built in to these power adjustable, manually folding side view mirrors. Now, these are not going to be heated or have the turn signal indicators built in on this particular trim level, just in the interest of fair reporting to let you know what's here and what's not. And here is the remote for 2024. No changes from 2023 to 2024. In fact, that's across the board. So you will have your remote start. That's a good thing. And how about tire and wheel size on this front wheel drive model? Every Accord is front wheel drive, obviously. 235 on the width. Your sidewall is going to be a 40 series and wrapped around the 19-inch wheels. And by the way, that remote, it's a proximity key. You have the walk-away feature. All that good stuff is here. And being the sport trim level, you're going to have a few additions, such as the black shark fin antenna, the black rear spoiler back here that gives it a nice look. And obviously, everything is going to be consistent in a lot of ways to what you'll see whether you go hybrid or not as far as the tail lights go and how they look. Now, something that's interesting here you don't normally find with a hybrid model. If you go non-hybrid to hybrid, sometimes you'll lose cargo capacity. That is not the case here. You're going to have 16.7 cubic feet of cargo capacity no matter what, whether you go hybrid or with a non-hybrid version. And just to show you everything here, let's see if I can do this one-handed. I don't know if I can. Yep, I guess I can. Here we go. I know a lot of people like to see cargo capacity maximized, so here's what we have. The seats don't fold down completely flat. I don't know how well you can see the angle right there. I don't think that's going to be a big deal, because if you're going to have something that you need to put into the trunk area back there and have it come into this area so it will fit, I don't believe that angle, the fact that the seats are not sitting completely flat when you fold them down, is going to be a problem. By the way, the exterior color on this Accord is radiant red. It does have black interior. And under the hood, for those who say, you know what, Tom, I really do want to buy an Accord, but I don't want a turbocharged engine under the hood. Well, here's your singular option. You'll have to go hybrid, because this is where you're going to find the 2-liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder paired with the dual electric motors, 204 horsepower, 247 pounds-feet of torque. And let's take a quick look at the MPGs that you get with this particular model. Get that out of the way right there. A lot of humidity today. 46 miles per gallon city, 41 highway, 44 combined, and 2.3 gallons of gas per every 100 miles driven. By the way, it is mated to an eCVT. Tell Honda down in the comments if you would like to see maybe a different transmission option on these Accord hybrids. And we'll take a look into the rear seat area and see what your back seat passengers are going to find. The armrest, well, a reasonable amount of space. You'll find more with the front doors, obviously, than you will here with the rear. It does seem to be fairly comfortable. And I guess you could call this a door bin, maybe more of a bottle holder than a door bin, but that's what you have. And then there are bottle holders here as well within the fold down armrest. And we'll fold that back up. A little bit of storage with the rear seat pocket here, only on the passenger side seat. And as you can see, not much else to talk about on this particular trim level. No air conditioning vents and no connectivity. Now, one thing I can say is that there is quite a bit of space. Now, at 5'10", well, let's see. How much space do I have? I'm sitting straight up. There is room to sit down just a little bit, maybe get a little more comfortable. So, I don't know, I'd be curious to know, for those of you who have had passengers, or maybe you yourselves have sat in the back seat of your Accords, or someone you know, how tall are you and how well did you fit? And a lot of that's going to be dependent on where the front seats are positioned and how they're positioned as far as these seat backs go and all that. Now, tell Honda down in the comments section if you would like to see something other than a conventional size sunroof. Would you like to see a panoramic sunroof option? Everybody has their opinions on that. Some people say the conventional size is good enough for me. If you're curious, yes, it does slide and tilt open. And I know some of you like to see the window sticker. Well, you're also going to see the price. So here is the price as far as this model goes. Now, at this particular dealership, there are a few added options. The window tint hasn't been put on yet, but you can see what Holmes Honda has added, and there is the additional price based on those items. So here's the window sticker. If you want to see that, you can pause the video if you see it in a little more detail, depending on what your preference is. I know some of you ask for that, so I thought I would show you. Now, we'll work our way around here to the passenger side door. Like I said, you have a little bit more space, in fact, a reasonable amount more, with not only the larger armrest, but also, I'd call that more of a door bin. The rear seat, or the rear doors, more bottle holders than door bins, but you could use it as either one depending on what you're doing. But obviously, there's more space here. Now, on the passenger side here, there is a manually adjustable seat. Driver's side is power adjustable. And we'll hop inside here and take a look at what we have. Just look across the dash real quick here. I'm going to move this seat back while we're at it so I can get down here and give you a little bit better view of the glove box. If you ever get in a situation where you need to have your tire changed and put on a new tire or whatever the case is, here is where your wheel lock key is located. You saw part of that addendum on the window over there. Added wheel locks, which is not a bad thing. It's a nice feature to add. So that is there if you want it. And I don't know for sure about this. I haven't checked into it. I have had a couple of people that said you can buy a kit to add a spare tire. I'll have to look into that a little bit further, maybe find a link I can put in the description of the video if there is such a thing. Now, you won't find a wireless charging pad, but you will find USB connectivity here. Your conventional style shifter. Yay for conventional style shifters for those who say boo to the push button shifters. And then your drive mode selector here, parking brake, power parking brake, and your brake hold mode. Obviously, cup holders are here, and inside of the center console is going to be plenty of space and an option to give your rear seat passengers USB connectivity. You could buy an adapter to plug in to the 12-volt power outlet, and well, there, that problem is going to be solved. And what about using the center console as an armrest? Well, I'd have to lower the seat a little bit from where I am to have it work a little bit better. It could stand to be a little bit higher maybe for that. I guess it just depends on how tall you are and where your seat is positioned on how that works for you. Here on the driver's side door, well, you'll see some additions, some things that you would likely expect, obviously. Controls for your power side view mirrors. And here with the 4 controls for all 4 windows, you'll notice that you just have kind of a dash there on the controls for the rear windows, but on the controls for the driver and passenger side here in the front, they both say auto because they're both one touch down and one touch up. And down there you see that button right there. Pretty easy to figure out that that is for opening the trunk. And over here on the left side of the steering column, you're going to find a few things. Number one, you're going to find the lever right there that you can drop and adjust the positioning of the tilt and telescopically adjustable steering wheel. Here's our digital instrument cluster. Easy to work with, a nice modern look and feel. And on the left side of the steering column here, do you know what that does? Some of you might and some of you don't. I know that because I drive around you regularly, especially here in Northwest Louisiana. I feel pretty confident that your vehicle can do this too. Do you know what that actually is? Tell me down in the comments if you do. Some of you might not. But yes, it's okay to laugh. We're going to have a little fun with that. But there is one more thing that you can do with the turn signal lever. That's how you turn on the lights on this Accord. And you'll notice they're in the center of the instrument cluster. When you turn the lights on, then the Accord is illuminated. That lightness of the Accord down there, when you put your foot on the brake, you'll notice the brake lights come on, and when you put it into drive, it drops down into place. It's somewhat saying, I'm ready to go when you are. And over here on the right side of the steering column, I can't really say anything sarcastic or funny about this lever, but that will control your windshield wipers. I think you probably know that. And your steering wheel controls right here, your paddle shifters, or what appear to be paddle shifters, I should say. These are actually not paddle shifters. That's for controlling regenerative braking. And so what is regenerative braking, in case you're saying, I've never heard of that before? Well, if you have a hybrid vehicle, kinetic energy is basically being used with regenerative braking to help keep the battery at proper charge capacity. And right here, the largest touchscreen you can currently have in an Accord. 12.3 inches, has a very nice modern look and feel. You can wirelessly pair your smartphone. Very easy to go in and make changes to the vehicle as far as different settings go. It has a nice look to it. If you go into vehicle settings, well, that's even better. I think it's really nice. There's a lot going on here. Depending on what you want to select will determine what comes up on the screen. And you can see what's here. I don't need to show you all of that because I think you can figure that out on your own with no problem whatsoever. When you go into reverse, you'll have your multi-view rear view camera. If you're familiar with the 2023 and 2024 Honda Pilots, mainly the Elite and Trail Sport, you know, there's a lot more camera views from around the vehicle than what we have on the Accord right now. Tell Honda down in the comments section if you would like to see something like that available on the Accord. And if you want to see power flow and what's going on with the vehicle as far as gas mileage and range and all that stuff goes, well, you can easily bring that up right here. And let's go through our driving modes. I showed you the drive mode selector earlier. Let's see what the driving modes are. You see normal. You also see Econ right there. And then we can go back up. We're going to go to Sport. And last but not least, we're going to have Individual. So that means you can select different areas of the vehicle and customize, well, how everything works. It doesn't just have to be Econ across the board. As you can see, you could have Sport for the powertrain if you wanted to, and Normal for steering. Pretty easy to deal with, but just in case you were wondering, well, there you go. That's how that works. And we will find dual zone climate control here. As far as this model goes, you can sync both sides together if you want to. You can see what all is here. Pretty easy to deal with. There's the fan speed. Now, one thing you won't find, heated or ventilated seats in this case. That's what we have. That's what you're paying for. And that's what you ultimately get with this Accord. Now, we'll show you a couple more things here. You do have the control right here. I told you that you can open the sunroof two different ways. Well, there's the control to do that. Also a place to store sunglasses or, well, whatever else you might be able to get to fit in that area. Okay, we're going to get out on the road for a quick test drive here with this Accord Hybrid. And while I know there's a lot of people that are saying, gee, I wish Honda had kept that 2.0T, the 252 horsepower turbocharged four-cylinder from the 10th generation, previous generations of the Civic. Well, it's not available anymore. So this is the closest you're going to get to that, but it is fun to drive. It definitely gets down the road with no problem. It's not exactly what I would call neck snapping performance, but you know what? It does just fine. It's not a problem as far as how it drives and how it rides, and when you need to get up to speed, it's not hard to do. It's truly no big deal whatsoever. And a comfortable ride quality, that's always a good thing. You can't beat that, that's for sure. I know everyone's going to have different opinions and different views. That's one reason why, even though I try and give you the best feedback I can in these videos, it's always best to drive these cars yourself, because that way you really get to find out for yourself what you think. Everybody, depending on their personal experience, will, well, have their different opinions and views. They might say, well, Tom, you said it rides well. I think the ride is exceptional. Depending on what you're used to, you might say, well, the ride isn't quite as smooth as I was expecting based on what you say. So there's a lot of variables that factor into those sorts of things. And the one thing I can most certainly say here, I really touched on this earlier in the video, I believe, the technology here is not hard to learn if you're new to this type of technology. So don't let that scare you off and make you say, well, you know, I'd love to have one of those new Accords, but I'm just not sure about the technology in these vehicles. It's a little scary. I don't think I want to deal with the steep learning curve. I probably won't use all of it. Well, you might be surprised once you buy one of these vehicles what you do end up using and how easy it is to use. I don't feel cramped, that's for sure, as far as the overall space goes here. I feel like I have plenty of room, plenty of headroom, plenty of leg room. Definitely very comfortable as far as this vehicle goes. Steering wheel itself is comfortable. The steering seems to be nice and responsive too. That's one thing you will find here, is that this Accord Hybrid does have a nice sporty feel to it. It hugs the corners nicely. It may not be a high performance vehicle, but it still gives you that nice experience if you want to get out and have a spirited drive. Maybe you're having a stressful day and want to go out and blow off some steam out in the country or somewhere away from all the traffic. Well, this Honda Accord will definitely do the job. Plenty of space for luggage, whatever you need to haul back there in the cargo area or just in the back seat if it's just you. So a very nice vehicle all around, but I am always curious to know what everybody thinks as far as what were you hoping for that maybe Honda didn't make available with this 11th generation of the Accord. So tell me what you think. Is the 2024 Honda Accord Hybrid Sport better than ever? Tell me what you think about this particular model if you plan to buy a 2024 Accord. Tell me what spec you want, exterior, color, all that good stuff. I'm curious to know. I do want to say a special thanks to my friends here at Holmes Honda for loaning me this Accord Hybrid Sport for the day. And a special thanks to each and every one of you for being kind enough to give me the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit the like button. That helps me out a lot. If you haven't subscribed to the Vehicle Visionary YouTube channel just yet, please consider doing so you don't miss any future videos. Tell me what vehicles you would like to see me reviewing in the near future, and I will do everything I can to make that happen for you. And if you would like to learn about additional vehicles you may wish to consider purchasing, check out the video that's on the screen right now, and I will see you there.